In the picturesque suburb of Saanich, British Columbia, a brutal murder shocked the community and left everyone grasping for answers. Lindsay Buziak, a 24-year-old real estate agent with a bright future, was lured to a vacant home under the guise of showing it to potential buyers. On February 2nd, 2008, what should have been a routine showing turned into a nightmare when Lindsay was found stabbed to death. Despite the passage of time and numerous investigations, her killer remains unidentified. What really happened that day? Was it a professional hit, a personal vendetta, or something else entirely? Join us as we delve deep into the chilling and unsolved murder of Lindsay Buziak, exploring every theory and suspect that has surfaced over the years. Curiosity gaps: could new evidence finally crack the case wide open? Why does this murder still haunt so many, and will justice ever be served? Lindsay Buziak was a vibrant young woman with an infectious zest for life. Born on November 2nd, 1983, she grew up in Victoria, British Columbia, where she was well loved by her family and friends. Lindsay was known for her kind heart, bright smile, and an innate ability to connect with people. Her charisma and determination made her a standout in any crowd. Lindsay decided to pursue a career in real estate, a field where her outgoing personality and strong work ethic could shine. By the age of 24, she had already made significant strides in her career, earning a reputation as a dedicated and ambitious real estate agent. Working for Remax Camason, one of the top agencies in Victoria, Lindsay had a growing list of clients and was known for going above and beyond to meet their needs. In her personal life, Lindsay was equally successful. She had a close-knit family, including her father, Jeff Buziak, who was a real estate developer, and her mother, Evelyn, who supported her in all her endeavors. Lindsay also had a younger sister, Sarah, who she was very close to. Her friends described her as a loyal and fun-loving person who always made time for those she cared about. At the time of her murder, Lindsay was in a relationship with Jason Zalo, a fellow real estate agent. The couple seemed happy, and Lindsay was optimistic about their future together. Jason was also well connected in the real estate industry, and the two often collaborated professionally. However, like any relationship, it had its complexities and pressures, especially given the high stakes nature of their work. Lindsay's life was on an upward trajectory, filled with promise and potential. She had dreams of expanding her career, traveling the world, and eventually starting a family. But all those dreams were abruptly cut short on February 2nd, 2008. The shock of her brutal murder left a gaping hole in the lives of those who knew her, and the unresolved nature of the case only deepened the pain and confusion. Lindsay Buziak was more than just a victim. She was a daughter, a sister, a girlfriend, and a friend. Her story is not just about her tragic death, but also about the vibrant life she led and the people she touched along the way. As we continue to explore the details of her case, it's important to remember Lindsay for who she was and the potential that was so cruelly taken away. February 2nd, 2008 started as an ordinary day for Lindsay Buziak. Little did she know it would end in tragedy, forever changing the lives of those who knew her. The events of that day are chilling, filled with eerie coincidences and unanswered questions that still baffle investigators and haunt her loved ones. It all began with a phone call a few days prior. Lindsay received a call from a woman with a foreign accent inquiring about a property in Saanich. The caller claimed she and her husband were relocating from Vancouver and needed a home urgently. Lindsay found the call strange and unnerving. The woman's accent seemed fake, and her insistence on meeting Lindsay specifically, despite not having worked with her before, raised red flags. Nevertheless, driven by her professional commitment, Lindsay agreed to show the couple a property at 1702 De Sousa Place on February 2nd. As the day approached, Lindsay expressed her unease to her boyfriend, Jason Zello, and even to her father, Jeff Buziak. Concerned, Jason offered to accompany her, but Lindsay declined, feeling it would appear unprofessional. Instead, they agreed Jason would wait outside the property and check on her if needed. On the day of the showing, Lindsay prepared meticulously, wanting to ensure everything went smoothly despite her apprehensions. She arrived at the property around 5:30 p.m. and shortly after, a couple arrived. They were described as a well-dressed Caucasian man and woman, fitting the vague descriptions provided over the phone. Jason, keeping his promise, arrived with a friend and waited nearby, ensuring Lindsay's safety from a distance. Lindsay greeted the couple outside and they entered the home together. According to witnesses, this was the last time Lindsay was seen alive. As she toured the couple through the house, Jason waited outside, keeping an eye on the situation. After some time, Jason became concerned when Lindsay failed to respond to his texts and calls. Feeling uneasy, he approached the house with his friend and found the front door locked. Unable to gain entry, Jason noticed a basement door was slightly ajar. He and his friend entered the house through this door and were met with an eerie silence. Calling out for Lindsay yielded no response. As they made their way through the home, they eventually reached the upstairs bedroom where they made a gruesome discovery. Lindsay was lying on the floor in a pool of blood, having been brutally stabbed over 40 times. The scene was horrifying, and it was immediately clear that she had been the victim of a vicious and personal attack. There were no signs of a struggle, suggesting she was taken by surprise. The sheer violence of the crime indicated a deep-seated rage, leaving investigators puzzled about the motive behind such brutality. Jason immediately called 911 and the police arrived swiftly, but the perpetrators had vanished without a trace. Despite an intensive search and investigation, there was no sign of the couple who had posed as potential buyers. The crime scene offered few clues, no fingerprints, no murder weapon, and no significant forensic evidence that could point to the killers. The timeline of events leading up to Lindsay's murder is tightly woven with mystery and suspicion. The suspicious phone call that lured her to the property, the meticulous planning of the supposed clients, and their abrupt disappearance all point to a premeditated act. Investigators believe the killers had detailed knowledge of Lindsay's schedule and movements, suggesting they may have been watching her for some time. The discovery of Lindsay's body marked the beginning of a complex investigation. Detectives combed through her personal and professional life, seeking any clues that could explain who would want to harm her. Friends, family, and colleagues were interviewed extensively, but no clear suspects emerged. The lack of physical evidence made it difficult to build a solid case, and the anonymity of the clients further complicated matters. As the investigation unfolded, various theories emerged, ranging from a professional hit to a personal vendetta. Each lead was meticulously pursued, but all ended in frustration and dead ends. The case garnered significant media attention, and the community rallied around the Buziak family, hoping for a breakthrough that would bring justice to Lindsay. To this day, the murder of Lindsay Buziak remains one of the most perplexing unsolved cases in Canadian history. The events of February 2nd, 2008 are a grim reminder of how swiftly and tragically life can change. As we continue to seek answers, Lindsay's memory lives on, driving the relentless pursuit of justice for a young woman whose life was cut short in such a brutal and senseless manner. The investigation into Lindsay Buziak's murder began immediately after the discovery of her body. The initial police response was swift, with officers arriving at the scene within minutes of Jason Zalo's frantic 911 call. The Saanich Police Department, along with forensic teams, quickly secured the area, hoping to preserve any potential evidence that could lead them to Lindsay's killer. However, what they found only deepened the mystery surrounding her death. Upon entering the crime scene, investigators were met with a gruesome sight. Lindsay had been stabbed multiple times in a manner that suggested a personal and frenzied attack. The brutality of the crime indicated that this was no random act of violence. It was premeditated and executed with cold precision. Despite the horror of the scene, the house itself offered few clues. There were no signs of forced entry, indicating that Lindsay had willingly let her assailants inside. Key pieces of evidence were scarce. The house was meticulously clean, with no fingerprints, no murder weapon, and no substantial forensic evidence left behind. The couple who had posed as clients had seemingly vanished into thin air, leaving no trace of their identity. Surveillance footage from nearby properties showed a glimpse of a man and woman entering the house, but the images were too grainy to provide a clear identification. The autopsy results were both shocking and revealing. Lindsay had been stabbed over 40 times, with the wounds concentrated on her chest, neck, and head. The sheer number of wounds suggested a crime of passion driven by intense anger or hatred. However, there were no defensive wounds on her body, indicating that she was likely taken by surprise and had little to no chance to defend herself. The attack was swift and deadly, leaving her no opportunity to escape or call for help. The challenges faced by the investigators were numerous. The lack of physical evidence at the scene meant that they had to rely heavily on witness statements and any potential leads from Lindsay's personal and professional life. Detectives interviewed friends, family, and colleagues, piecing together a timeline of Lindsay's last days and trying to uncover any motive for the crime. Despite their best efforts, each lead seemed to end in a dead end, adding to the frustration and complexity of the case. One of the main challenges was the mysterious phone call Lindsay received prior to the murder. The woman's voice, described as having a foreign accent, was a critical piece of the puzzle, but it provided little concrete information. The phone used to make the call was a burner phone, purchased with cash and untraceable, adding another layer of anonymity to the case. The precision and planning behind the call suggested that the murder was orchestrated by someone with experience in evading detection. Investigators also faced difficulties with potential suspects. Lindsay's boyfriend, Jason Zello, was initially scrutinized due to his proximity to the crime and his relationship with her. However, his alibi and cooperation with the investigation eventually led to his clearance as a suspect. The lack of clear motives among Lindsay's acquaintances made it challenging to pinpoint any specific individual who would want to harm her. Despite extensive efforts, the case remained cold. Investigators followed up on numerous tips and leads over the years, but each one failed to bring them closer to solving the mystery. The case garnered significant media attention, with public appeals for information and rewards offered for any leads that could crack the case. Yet, the identity of the couple who lured Lindsay to her death and the reasons behind the murder remain unknown. The enduring mystery of Lindsay Buziak's murder continues to baffle investigators and haunt her loved ones. The meticulous planning and execution of the crime suggest a level of sophistication that is both chilling and perplexing. As the years pass, the hope for justice remains, driven by the determination of Lindsay's family and the commitment of the Saanich Police Department to solve the case. The investigation into Lindsay's murder is a stark reminder of the complexities and challenges that law enforcement faces in solving such brutal and calculated crimes. The absence of concrete evidence and the elusive nature of the suspects make this case particularly difficult. However, the relentless pursuit of truth and justice for Lindsay Buziak endures as her family and community continue to seek answers and closure for the senseless loss of a bright and promising young woman. The murder of Lindsay Buziak has spawned numerous theories and suspects, each adding a layer of complexity to the case. Theories range from personal vendettas to professional rivalries and even the possibility of a random act of violence. Here, we delve into the most prominent theories and examine the potential suspects that have emerged over the years. One of the leading theories is that Lindsay's murder was the result of a personal vendetta. This theory suggests that someone close to Lindsay, perhaps an acquaintance or someone with a grudge, orchestrated the murder out of anger or jealousy. Lindsay's father, Jeff Buziak, has long believed that the crime was committed by someone she knew. The ferocity of the attack and the targeted nature of the crime lend some credence to this theory, suggesting a deeply personal motive behind the murder. Another prominent theory is that Lindsay was killed due to a professional rivalry. As a successful real estate agent, Lindsay was well known in her community and had numerous clients. Some speculate that her success might have made her a target for competitors or individuals involved in shady real estate dealings. The anonymous phone call and the elaborate setup for the house showing point to a level of planning that could be linked to someone familiar with the real estate industry. A less popular but still considered theory is that Lindsay's murder was a random act of violence. This theory posits that Lindsay was an unfortunate victim of a crime of opportunity, perhaps targeted by strangers for reasons unknown. However, the meticulous planning and execution of the crime make this theory less likely, as it seems implausible that such a carefully orchestrated murder would be random. When it comes to potential suspects, several names have surfaced over the years. Lindsay's boyfriend, Jason Zello, was initially under scrutiny due to his proximity to the crime and his relationship with her. Despite the initial suspicion, Jason's alibi and cooperation with the police eventually led to his clearance as a suspect. However, his family's connections and influence have fueled ongoing speculation and rumors. Another name that has been mentioned is Matt McDuff, a former boyfriend of Lindsay's. Although there is no concrete evidence linking him to the crime, some believe his past relationship with Lindsay and the possibility of lingering emotions could have played a role. However, like many others, Matt has denied any involvement and has not been charged. Public and media speculation have also pointed fingers at individuals connected to the real estate business. The anonymous couple who lured Lindsay to the house remains the most enigmatic element of the case. Despite numerous attempts to identify them, they have managed to elude capture, leaving a significant gap in the investigation. Inconsistencies in alibis and statements have further complicated the case. Some individuals connected to Lindsay provided conflicting accounts of their whereabouts on the day of the murder. However, without solid evidence, these inconsistencies have not led to any significant breakthroughs. The media has played a crucial role in keeping Lindsay's case in the public eye. Various documentaries, news segments, and true crime shows have explored different angles, presenting theories and potential suspects. While this has helped maintain public interest, it has also led to widespread speculation, sometimes obscuring the facts of the case. Despite the numerous theories and suspects, Lindsay Buziak's murder remains unsolved. The complexity of the case, combined with the lack of concrete evidence, continues to baffle investigators and frustrate her family. As we explore these theories and suspects, it becomes clear that the truth behind Lindsay's murder is elusive, hidden beneath layers of mystery and speculation. The hope for justice remains, as does the determination of those who loved Lindsay to uncover the truth. Theories and suspects may abound, but the quest for answers continues, driven by the desire to finally solve the case and bring closure to Lindsay's family and community. Lindsay Buziak's murder has had a profound impact on her family and friends. Her father, Jeff Buziak, has been relentless in his pursuit of justice for his daughter. Jeff has dedicated his life to keeping Lindsay's case in the public eye, organizing annual walks for justice, and maintaining a website to gather tips and information. The pain of losing Lindsay is a daily reality for her family, compounded by the frustration of an unsolved case. The community of Saanich has rallied around the Buziak family, with many residents participating in vigils and events to honor Lindsay's memory and demand justice. The outpouring of support has been a testament to the impact Lindsay had on those who knew her and the broader community. Despite the passage of time, the community's commitment to finding her killer remains unwavering. Jeff's efforts have also drawn media attention, helping to keep Lindsay's story alive. His determination has inspired many to come forward with tips, and he continues to advocate tirelessly for new leads and advancements in the investigation. The quest for justice is ongoing, driven by the hope that one day Lindsay's killer will be brought to justice. The murder of Lindsay Buziak is a chilling and unresolved case that continues to haunt her family, friends, and the community of Saanich. Despite numerous theories and potential suspects, the truth behind her brutal killing remains elusive. The detailed planning and execution of the crime point to a calculated and deliberate act, leaving investigators and loved ones searching for answers. As we reflect on Lindsay's life and the tragic circumstances of her death, it is crucial to keep the case in the public eye. Call to action: if you have any information, no matter how insignificant it may seem, please come forward. Your tip could be the key to unlocking this mystery and bringing justice to Lindsay and her family. Please share this video to spread awareness about Lindsay's case. Like and subscribe to our channel for more true crime stories and updates. Together, we can keep the pressure on and hope for a breakthrough that will finally bring closure to this haunting case. Thank you for watching.